tonight on Around the Cooler. Will Stein made a bold statement on the opening days of SEC Media Days. And will Alex Golesh capture the most elusive title in college sports? Let's go around the cooler.
Yeah. Water Cooler Talk Sports. Around the Cooler. Saturday night. Yeah, you know the deal. SEC pride. Yeah, we keep it real. From the plains to the grove, everybody knows it's Around the Cooler. We talk that score. Talk that score. Water Cooler Talk Sports Network. Every headline, every story. Around the Cooler where the fans all meet. We talk that score. This is Around the Cooler. Only on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network.
Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, man? I'm your man, Nick Frazier, man. We are here tonight with Around the Cooler, man. Shout out to everybody rocking with us, man. My guy rocking with me tonight, man. It is the one and only from Bubba and the old man, Auburn Sports Talk. It is Bubba. What's up, Bubba? How you feeling, my guy?
Feeling great. How are you?
Man, you took a nap?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Multiple.
Bubba is energized now, ladies and gentlemen. He energized. Shout out to Bubba, man. Shout out to everybody rocking with us here tonight, man. Tonight we're gonna have a great conversation, man. Of course, you know, SEC Media Days is underway, man. Of course, Auburn will be going on tomorrow. But some things happened today. Some things happened today that we need to have a conversation about it. I think it's gonna be a really good conversation, man. Shout out to Auburn Dad for life, rocking with us in the chat. What's up, Auburn Dad, man? What's going on, man? How you doing, my guy? Hope you feeling good. The Huggy Beard is in the chat with us, man. What's up, Huggy, man? Hope you feeling good, my guy. Hope you feeling great as well, man. Man, Tim, the tool man, Taylor is rocking with us. What's up, Tim? How you feeling, my guy? Hope you feeling good. Hope you feeling great, man. Bubby, you ready to get into this conversation tonight, my guy?
Absolutely.
All right, let's make this thing happen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, SEC Media Day started today. It started off with a bang, man. It started off with a bang. Joining us as well is your favorite insider, our favorite insider, everybody's favorite insider. It is Ant, the insider. Ant, what's going on, my guy? Oh, you must got that solar panel.
Sunrun phones.
Yeah, the Sunrun phone. That's what it is. Anyway, we're gonna get this thing rocking and rolling, man. SEC Media Days kicked off this morning in Tampa, Florida. Kicked off with Greg Sankey giving his State of the SEC address per se. But also today you had Kentucky, you had Oklahoma, you had Tennessee, and of course you had Missouri on the docket today as well. Shout out to Teresa. What's up, Teresa? Excuse me. Shout out to Teresa, man. War Eagle to you, man. War Eagle to you. Excuse me, man. Hope you feeling good. Hope you feeling great, man. Shout out to you, man. And we look at it and you know, there were some things that happened. We had a conversation about it earlier today on the pregame playlist. If you have not taken a look, if you have not checked into the pregame playlist, go watch the show from this morning, or you can join us tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time for the pregame playlist. But to get this show started, Will Stein was asked a question, and he gave a very, 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 very confident response. Let's check it out.
Hey, Will, Adam Luckett, Kentucky Sports Radio. You said you came here because you can believe you can win here. Why is that? Kentucky historically has fought against a narrative, against perception. Why do you think you can win big here?
This is going to sound like really, I think because of me, to be honest. I think because of me. I think I know what it takes. I've seen it at the highest levels. I know what it takes to recruit at this level. And you just got to believe, man. You just got to put the ball down and play.
Man, so that was Will Stein giving his response to the question that was asked by the reporter on he came here because he felt as if he wanted to win. And why does he feel as if he could win? Bob, you heard the man say what the man said. Was that not confident or not? What's your thoughts on that, Bubba?
It was borderline arrogant, I think. And I think it's what's needed at a small program like that, right? You know, you've talked about the infusion of money with their, you said they LLC'd their athletic department.
Yep.
Yeah, so like you kind of got to have that mentality if you're going to go to one of the smaller, less successful programs in the SEC. Jeff Lebby has that same confidence. He's just more quiet about it, but I appreciate that he went into this. He knew he needed to make a big statement. He's the youngest coach in the conference.
Yep.
And I appreciate him coming and like putting down his flagpole, essentially. Now it could flop. He could go 3-9 this year and 2-10 the year after and get fired, and that'll be a meme forever.
Oh, it will.
But I think it shows the mentality that he's trying to build in the program.
Man, I'm with you on that. Like, but here's the thing though, like a coach to come in and to say that, like he could have gave a coach, but he could have came in and said something like, well, we have, the best, we have the best resources, to come in and help us win right now. We recruit great, we're able to do all of this, we're able to do all of that. But he literally just like,
I'm like that.
Exactly. That's exactly what he said. He literally was like, yeah, it's gonna be because of me. So basically, what he basically just told everybody was, if this thing blows up, it's because of me. If this thing fails, it's because of me. I am the face of this program. I am the face of getting Kentucky back to where, or getting Kentucky to a spot where it has not been, or has not been in a very long time. And I feel as if I have the requisite credentials and qualifications for us to get back to that point. I like the confidence, man. I love the confidence from Will Stein. Will Stein went up there and said what he had to say. And when you look at this roster, man, when you look at what they've done, bringing in Nick Anderson, bringing in Tegra Shabola, bringing in Lance Hurd, bringing in Kenny Minchie at the quarterback position.
Devontae Barnes.
Yeah, yeah. Say it again. You said Tavon Lawrence?
Javonte Barnes and CJ
Javonte Barnes, running back from Oklahoma. Yeah, and then Elijah Barnes, the linebacker from Texas. When you look at what they've done in the portal with trying to bring in guys, I think they brought in 45 new guys on this team. And I've said this. I haven't been like very vocal about it, but I've said this. I've said that I think that Kentucky is going to surprise some teams here. I'm not saying Kentucky's going to go out here and win 7-8 games, but I do think Kentucky is going to go out here and beat somebody that they're not supposed to beat, and people are going to look at it and be like, "Man, what's going on?" And I think we got you back. I think Sunrun gave you a credit on that 138. Can you hear us?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, just checking. You heard what Will Stein said today when he was asked the question of why he feels as if Kentucky is going to win and win big. He said it's because of him. Honestly, that's exactly what he said. He said because of him is the reason why that they are going to win big. Do you agree with Will Stein and what he has said so far?
I agree. I like the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Come in here and say some Jimbo X stuff.
Ooh.
The man said it's because of me. So he's taking full responsibility for anything that happens at Kentucky right now.
Mm-hmm.
If they win 8 games, it's because of him. If they win 3 games, it's because of him. Now, the reporters ready to eat that up.
Oh yeah. This is something that's gonna stay. That clip is going to stay right where it is, just for the fact that if it does not go the way that he is saying that it will go, oh my God, that clip is going to play for a long period of time. I ask y'all this question: what is the probability? What is the probability that you believe that he will do what he said he will do? Like he will, like what he said, him saying that with his whole chest. What is the probability of you believing that he will do that?
I mean, pretty good. I've been a big fan of Will Stein for a while. Like when he was out there with Jeff Traylor at UTSA, that's when I first started seeing a lot of his clinics. Like you can go find his coaching clinics on YouTube. And I am a full believer in Will Stein because he is a genius.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And I think, in my opinion, I think it will work out in the sense that I think he'll be at a new school in 5 years, and it'll be because he built that program back.
Okay, so you believe that this could be a stepping stone for Will Stein, not where he wants to be.
Well, I mean, like we see the trends of where Texas is going. Like we think Texas is on a decline right now.
True.
So, and he is a Texas guy, Texas high school coach, big time, right? I think that he could end up back there where his roots are.
Isn't he from Kentucky though? Yeah, he's
from
born and raised from Kentucky.
He's from Louisville, but he coached high school football for a while in Texas.
In Texas, okay.
And he has a lot of really good connections in Texas.
Okay.
Weirdly enough, he was never a head coach.
He was
high
not
school level,
right?
He was not. He went straight. Then he go straight from there to like straight to being like a GA or something like that in college.
Yep.
I believe that's what it was. Will Stein, man. Will Stein said it with his whole chest. He said, because of me, to be honest, it's going to be because of me if it's the reason why Kentucky is going to win big. I mean, we mentioned it earlier, man. Kentucky is LLC, their athletic department. They are finding ways to get money, to get that revenue and to get that cash flowing so they can be able to compete, with these schools and things and stuff of that nature. And I think just based off of what I've seen so far, what they've done with bringing in guys on the offensive line, shoring up some guys on the defense side of the football, bringing in Kenny Mitchell, a guy that was in a quarterback battle with CJ Carr last year at Notre Dame. I think he's trying to come in, and by him saying that statement, I think he's trying to come in and win right now. I think he's trying to come in and make a statement this season. I don't think he's waiting. I think he's like, look, we went and got the defense coordinator from Texas A&M. I'm here. Both of us have played in meaningful games in college football. We both played in the college football playoff. I had a little bit of a run in the college football playoff and things of in that nature. When he says he knows what it takes to recruit, to win, to do this at this level, he's not lying. He's done it. He did it at Oregon. So I think I look at Will Stein, and I think Will Stein will come in here and be able to do what he said he was. For some reason, I get that feeling that he's gonna back up what he says. Mr. 21 saying, why can't he be another Eli Drink? Ooh, what's your thoughts on that, Bubba?
I think it's possible. Like, if he does end up being like a consistent 8-win coach where he's just kind of all right, I still think he'll end up at another school in 5 years. But I think he's going to be better than Drink. I think that he's a way better offensive mind than Drinkwitz is. I think Drinkwitz is a superstar recruiter, and I think that he is a program builder, whereas I view Will Stein as one of the premier X's and O's coaches in the country.
I like that. Auburn, I think evil Danny McBride has 3 seasons top, and he's out of there to Ohio State University. I think okay. All right.
Why do people hate Ryan Day so bad?
Yeah, I don't know. It might just be just the unlikable version of Ryan Day. Who knows? I don't.
His beard looks fake, but why does that?
It does look bad. Phil was there. Recruiting to Oregon and Kentucky is 2 totally different things. Well, I hear it look too different. I hear what you're saying, but in this era of college football, when NIL, collectives, and money is it, and when the entire athletic department has basically LLC'd themselves, well, not basically, they have LLC'd themselves, and now they have the ability to have flushes of cash come through to be able to compete with these other schools. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. We've been having these conversations behind off pod, basically. We've been having these conversations off pod. And I'm not gonna say it right now because the topics of those shows will be the topics of the conversation will become shows. But the implementation of NIL has closed the gap with a lot of people's perceived favorite teams in college football. And there have been cracks that have been showing in the past two seasons with some of these teams that have been at the top. And I believe that, me personally, I believe that those cracks are about to bust wide open within the next 2 years, in my opinion, because of the fact that NIL has basically closed the talent gap between those schools and the schools that they just was just so much better than at a particular point in time. But yeah, those will be show topics in the future. So I can't give you the school's name that I'm talking about. You can make a guess and potentially who you think it is, but it is what it is. And I think Kentucky has the opportunity. You look at what Kentucky has been doing in the recruiting rankings in high school recruiting with the 27 class. They've been getting some really solid rating, high rated 3-star guys and some very solid rated 4-star guys committed to the 27 class. Kentucky looks like it particularly could be a destination school in the future. And I'm telling you, if he can back it up, if he can back up what he said today, if he can back that up with some wins and get people behind him and show proof of concept on the field, man, Will Stein has an opportunity to do some things at Tennessee. I mean, excuse me, at Kentucky.
He got the 5th best quarterback in the country committed right now.
You talking about 27 class, right?
Yeah, top 20 class.
Yeah, it is what it is. Mike McKinney said, we don't need to guess. We all know who it is. Well, who is it then, Mike McKinney? Who am I talking about? Who am I talking about? What team am I talking about? It might not even be an SEC team I'm talking about, Mike McKinney. Who I'm talking about, Mike, if you know. Man, Will Stein, he said it with his whole chest when asked the question of why he came to Kentucky to win and why he decided he wanted to come to Kentucky to win. He said it's because of me. So we're gonna be looking out for it. And by the way, Kentucky beat Auburn last year. Kentucky beat Auburn last year at Auburn. Kentucky beat Auburn at Auburn last year. And now you come in and you bring this. Bubba says he's an offensive genius, on the offensive side of the football. And now you went and bolstered up that defensive side of football with the defensive coordinator from Texas A&M. And, you went over there and got some guys on the defensive side of the football as well in the portal to kind of.
And don't sleep on Joe Sloan as a quarterback developer.
Okay.
He can't call plays to save his life.
I'm liking it. Well, but here's the thing. To your point, he was asked the question today. Will Stein was asked the question today of will he be calling plays? He said no, he won't be. He said he can't do it. He said he can't. Now I'm telling you exactly what his words were today when asked the question. He said that he will not be calling plays because he wouldn't be able to do it because he has to focus on the team. But I agree with you, Bubba. I think he's gonna be a part of it as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Kentucky, Will Stein, making noises, saying it with confidence, letting people know that, look, I am here and I'm about to do what I need to do in order to get this thing rocking and rolling and get Kentucky to the heights of where Kentucky needs to be at, is what he said. And he said it with his whole chest. We're going to win because of me. To be honest, because of me. That's what he said with his chest. Ladies and gentlemen, man, pregame playlist every weekday morning, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. Join us. Your morning, your sports, your playlist.
The pregame playlist is your new morning destination. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. Your morning, your sports, your playlist.
Game day starts with great food. At Adeline's by Chef Country, we bring championship flavor to every plate. From slow-smoked ribs to barbecue favorites, feeding the family or the tailgate, make Adeline's your first stop before kickoff.
Click the link below to get NordVPN. That's the peace of mind you deserve.
Subscribe to these YouTube channels. You won't regret it.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, man, welcome back to Around the Cooler here on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us, man. Auburn football has been on kind of a downward spiral since winning the national championship in 2010. When you look at it, man, the magical year of Auburn winning the national championship in 2010, then going back to the national championship in 2013, winning 13 games. But then, having that one season where they won went to the SEC championship game in 2017, but in between, it's just been kind of just, it is what it is, But as we all know, Auburn has not been great these past couple of seasons on the Plains. We've been through, 3 coaches since 2020. You fired Gus Malzahn, hire Brian Harsin, fire Brian Harsin, and hire Hugh Freeze, and now Hugh Freeze is fired. Now we're on coach number 4. In the beginning of his tenure at Auburn, and Golesh brings in a very impressive track record, especially as a coordinator, where he has been Tennessee, UCF as well. Then of course having his first head coaching job at USF, and which was most recently winning 7 games his first 2 seasons, and then winning 9 games this past year. Would have went to a bowl game, but ended up leaving to take the Auburn job before the bowl game happened. And now he has the task of bringing Auburn back to where Auburn was before all of this, just before the decline. Getting Auburn back to that level of being a contender, year in and year out, potentially in the SEC. And now the added pressure of being a college football playoff team and things stuff of that nature. I asked this question because this question comes from a statement that Bubba actually made. Bubba actually made a statement. Was it this morning or was it last week? I can't remember. We was talking about the type of offenses that these teams run. We was referencing Tennessee, and you made a statement and you said that those type of offenses, excuse me. And we kind of talked about Lane Kiffin about you don't think Lane Kiffin could win a national championship with the type of offense that he runs. And
they don't play the same style, but I have said multiple times I don't think Alex Golesh, this system, can win a national championship.
That's my point. So that's the reason why I asked this question. It's not the same system, but they're kind of, I'll say they're kind of like distant cousins to each other. It's a very it's a system that kind of want to kind of spread you out a little bit. They will run the football, they will do that, but it's kind of fast paced a little bit and whoop and stuff like that. But you look at it, and I asked the question to this, man. Why don't you think that these offenses can't win national championships? And do you think that Alex Golesh could bring a national championship to Auburn?
All right. I'm going to try not to get too long-winded.
Your time. Take your time. That's what they say in church. Take your time.
So what it really comes down to is, okay, this offense survives off of tempo. This offense survives off of a dominant run game and a very simplified read-based passing game where the receivers are actually the ones making the decisions oftentimes. If you look at deep choice, the decision is basically completely made by the receiver. He reads the lever to the corner. He either bends it to the post, he curls it back, or he's going deep. So what it really comes down to is late in games when teams are able to – what makes this offense so effective is the downhill run game nature forces you to commit extra bodies to the box and allows your receivers to play one-on-one and forces you to play split field safety looks almost exclusively because of the widths of the receivers, so you're able to attack the deep middle. Late in games, this offense cannot win because of the lack of complexity in the passing game where teams are able to put a cap on it, where they're able to sit 3 deep, 4 deep, and put caps on all your deeper routes, the width of the receivers. You're not able to get complex in your passing concepts. So what you see oftentimes with these teams, like when teams are able to just sit back and play deep coverage, you can't take the top off and you have no intermediate passing game to go to. So you saw like Indiana had that, where they were a pretty heavy RPO team. They had some elements with the wide splits, but they were able to, late in games, execute deep passing concepts, in-depth, middle of the field passing concepts. You do not see that with this system. You don't see it with Levy, who is the godfather of this system. You don't see it with Heupel, and we haven't seen it with Golesh. So we saw it. Ohio State was able to win with 5 in the box in the playoff game. So they were able to sit on the deeper routes from Tennessee, and they got massacred. So they have no counterpunch. They're great for 55 minutes of a tight game because they're able to play tempo, and they're racking up rush yards. They're getting 7 yards a pop. They're getting deep. They're able to attack deep. But late in games, you see it consistently. They cannot execute because they have no intermediate passing game.
So basically, you're saying the tempo is, so to you, the reason why this type of offense and the reason why we're saying this style of offense and the reason why you don't think Golesh can win a national championship or a championship at Auburn is because of the fact that the tempo is good and is bad in game situations, especially in tight games. So when you get, I'm just going to summarize for you. So basically, you're saying that if there is a tight game and Auburn has to slow the game down and be able to run the football to kind of chew out the clock, this offense is not built to do that. And there is nothing in this offense that allows them to do that. Is that correct?
It's also the passing concepts. They don't have an in-depth. They don't have a counterpunch. Like, they don't have even something as simple as like dagger. Where they're able to attack the middle of the field and get 25 yards. Just take a chunk like that.
So this team, so when we look at this style of offense, This offense basically is saying you want to get up big on teams and kind of play ahead. So if you're playing ahead, you have the opportunity to win games. But and a lot of people that, if you understand what we're saying, the game that I can go back to in recent memory that will tell you this is you look at Tennessee and Georgia. You look at what Tennessee and Georgia did, last year. Tennessee was up 27 to 7 or 24-7 against Georgia, and Georgia was able to kind of just sit on the run game, run the football a little bit, and then be able to get themselves back in the game. But Tennessee's tempo and the way that they try to stay on ahead of schedule and ahead of the chains, the way that the offense is built, because they kept getting through, they got some 3 and outs, they would have some success, but then they would get they would get out on third. I mean, they would get off the field on third down, and now they have to get the ball right back to a Georgia offense that's just going to sit on the football and just kind of run the ball down the field, especially with the type of offensive line they had. So when you have that, it's hard to win games like that. You need an offense that has somewhat of an intermediate passing game concepts and an offense that can kind of just sit on the ball when it's a tight game and you're just trying to run the clock out at the end of the game. Is what you're basically saying.
Yeah, if you have a team that can play 2-minute and 4-minute and has the ability to attack the middle of the field late in games, you can win a championship.
Yep.
This team has the ability to play 2-minute. And at times, if they are up big and it's an equal level of talent, they can play a little bit of 4-minute because they can run inside zone and get 3 or 4 yards of carry. But if they have a situation where we are at our own 25, there is 1:30 left, that game's over. They're down 7, game's over. You saw the one time that I believe at USF where they went up and they were able to go and they were able to close the game late, and it was the tie game against Florida. People don't understand what it took. It took Byron Brown going superhuman, and it took them breaking a jailbreak screen to get into field goal range. And then once they got into field goal range, they couldn't move the football. So it takes an insane set of circumstances, and to win a national championship, you need to be able to win 4 or 5 of those games.
True. Right? I like that. Mr. 21 said probably need a dynamic player at QB like Nick Marshall. No intermediate passing game, but the run forces defenses to play more. Man, yeah, that's I get what you're saying. And then King Richard comes behind him and said Gus Tempo won Natty in 2010. Yes, I know there is Cam Newton on the field on the field this year. Okay, all right.
Well, let me just counter that.
Go ahead.
That was before teams learned how to defend zone read at a high level.
Yeah.
They had no answer for it because that was still the era of 240, 250-pound linebackers where they weren't scrape exchanging on zone read. They didn't have an answer. Teams now have a full-on answer for every RPO you have, zone read. With Cam, they were running power read a lot. And in modern football, what really messes with defenses, last year at Indiana, 12 personnel.
Yep.
12 personnel duo with like a glance slant counter as an RPO.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. And then one thing a lot of people don't know about Indiana too. Indiana ran back shoulder fade a lot too. Excuse me. When they needed to get the ball down the field and they need to make a play, they were running back shoulder fade to where like they would throw the ball and it would be in one area that only the receiver can catch it, and it was always thrown perfectly. You knew they practiced that, like they had to practice it like a lot, bro. So it was crazy. And to Mike McKinney's point of view, yeah, they can substitute now. Like what people fail to realize is like I'm not gonna say fail to realize, but you gotta understand like when Gus Malzahn first came in and he instituted that hurry up no huddle thing, like when they were substituting off the field, that was the advantage. The team offense up on the line ready to go, the defense trying to substitute people in and out. Either it's a penalty because you got 12 people on the field, or you just caught them off guard and out of position and you score a touchdown. Now the referees have to stand over the ball. If they substitute, you got to give if the offense substitute, the defense has to have the opportunity to substitute as well. So it's the rules change it up a lot. The rules change it a lot.
You can't game it as much like Gus did.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do that. So the rules change a lot. I don't know, man. I think that Golesh. I think that Golesh can get you there. I think he can get you to a national championship game. Can he win it? I'm with you, Bubba. I'm kind of with you on this because I just want to see more of like in those late game situations, being able to sit on the football and just chew up 7-8 minutes of the clock. And this, I just don't think this offense is just built to do that. I don't think this offense is built to do that, just to chew it up like that. Maybe, you know, if Byron Brown is just that dynamic of a player, and you know every time you give him the football and he leans forward, he's gonna get 3-4 yards. Maybe, you know, you have the opportunity to do that, but he has to be like that dynamic type athlete in order for that to happen. We don't know if Byron Brown is that dynamic type of an athlete just yet on the football field. We know he can run the football. We know he's thrown for 3,000 yards. We know he's rushed for 1,000 yards. But is he the type of guy that where, you know, not at the beginning of the season, but when you start getting late in the season and he's taking a lot of hits, and now you need him to get, you know, it's 3rd and 2, and you need him to get 2.5 yards to get the first down. Is he gonna be up to the challenge, or is he gonna be, you know, healthy enough in order to do that? I hope he is. But you know, you need another running back as well. You need another guy back there in the backfield that's gonna be able to take some of that pressure off of him. People forget Michael Dyer was also in that backfield with Cam Newton that year as well. You know, when things stuff like that, because towards the middle part, end part of that season, yes, Cam was still running the football, but Michael Dyer was getting a lot of carries as well too. If I'm not mistaken, Michael Dyer was 1,000-yard back that year as well. So I mean, it really is the notion of just seeing like, is there another rusher in this offense behind Byron Brown that can come in and spell him some once you get into the running game? I just don't think the offense is just set up for them to just sit on the clock like that for like 6, 7, 8 minutes in the game to just chew it up and just kind of kill it. I don't think it's made like that. Maybe it's something that they do implement. Maybe it's something that we see different. I don't know. I'm not betting that we will, but it will be something.
It's nothing against, like, I think Alex Golesh manages games really well.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't make a ton of mistakes in game. I just think that the identity that you commit to with this style of offense is conducive to winning 9-10 games a year. It's not conducive to national championships. Maybe there's an evolution to it. I mean, Joel Gordon and Alex Golesh have a history under Matt Campbell, who does run more of a pro spread style, but neither of them have committed to that. So I just don't see that happening.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Tell us in the comments, do you think that Alex Golesh can win a national championship, bring a national championship to Auburn with this style of offense, or in general, like even paired with the defense? Do you think that Alex Golesh can bring a national championship or national championships to Auburn in the next, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, next decade, if however long he decides to stay? So yeah, we'll definitely be having this conversation a lot more moving forward, because I think Auburn's gonna be great, and we want Auburn to be great. So we'll see what's going on with that, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up, Eli Drinkwitz made some interesting comments about the Big Ten scheduling. Stay tuned.
Life moves fast. Protect the people you love. Secure your future with life insurance. Or build generational wealth through real estate. Freddie Metro is here to help with trusted guidance. Protecting families, building legacies, creating wealth. Call Freddie Metro now. Hit the link and try it now.
Everybody wants to look like a star when they step out, including you. Hollywood Media has you covered. From clean portraits, corporate events, and athletic events, Hollywood Media has you covered. These aren't just pictures. This is your moment. Follow now on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media with 2 A's. Follow on Facebook at Hollywood Media. Feel like the star you are.
Yes! Let's go! Whew. Yeah. Oh, yes! Let's go!
schedule, you bound to win, 3 back-to-back national championships. That's what Alex Golesh, that's what Eli Drinkwitz said about the Big Ten. He said the Big Ten's non-conference schedules and the fact that they did not play anybody or had a weak non-conference schedule is the reason why they have 3 back-to-back national champions from 3 different teams. Bubba, man, it sounds like Eli Drinkwitz is off base a little bit to me. That's just me. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a 100% B-word made type take. And like, you're grasping for straws when you point directly to, okay, they didn't play a Power 4 non-conference game. I don't think it really matters. That one game isn't going to put that much of a toll on your body. I think that it's fair to say that the SEC plays tougher schedules. But that's because of our own conference. And that's the point I would make is you don't get to make your own life harder and then complain about making your own life harder. I think that if you're going to champion the SEC as the most grueling, tough schedule in the country every year, you need to also understand we need to go and then prove that.
Yep.
We, like iron sharpens iron, right? We play the toughest competition.
Yep.
Then we get to the playoffs, and our, as Tez put it, flagship program gets dusted by the losingest program in college football history. Like that's the point I would make. Is you made your own life harder. You championed the SEC as the toughest, most mentally tough program conference in the country, but we have yet to prove it in the 12-team era.
You took all my points. That's all I'm saying. Like, but here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to say. Do you think that this coming from Eli Drinkwitz had any effect? Because it came from Eli Drinkwitz. As it says on the screen, Missouri has not made the college football playoff under Eli Drinkwitz.
Well, I mean, it's the same as Shane Beamer's. Like this past year where they played it was like Old Dominion. They had all 3 of their non-conference games were also G5 programs. I
don't get it.
It's wrong message and wronger messenger.
Yeah, my point exactly. Drunk Vigio. Hopefully I'm saying that right, my guy. Shout out to you for rocking with us. He said the SEC strength of schedule is a myth. It's manufactured propaganda by Disney, ABC, ESPN. If you've watched us long enough, Drunk Vigio 7263, you know I agree with you. You know I agree with you wholeheartedly. You know I do. I'm sitting here like, okay, here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. I understand that the SEC has a very tough conference, right? And we have had knockout, drag out arguments about me saying this. I really think that a lot of it is just this computer number that's made up by ESPN, ABC, in order to push forward a conference. CBS low-key kind of did it as well too. When the SEC was with CBS, they did it as well. It was all to help sell more advertising, in my opinion. Now, granted, there were teams in the SEC that lived up to that moniker. Don't get it twisted. You had 17, 18 years of one school, winning 9 SEC championships, winning 6 national championships. And then you had LSU in there win 1. You had Georgia win 2 on the back end of that. Auburn won 1 early on, in that run. But in the middle part of that, from 2011 to 2019, it was really just kind of Alabama just kind of holding up, the conference of what it was and having that moniker, the dominance of one program. I've said this. I said this many a times. The dominance of one program helped prop up other teams in this conference, and the fact that the demarcation point of looking at when NIL really kicked in 2023, NIL kicked in before that, but the NIL we are looking at now that we know of now with collectives and NIL contracts and guys hitting the portal because they're getting paid really kicked in that 23 season after Georgia won a national championship, won the back-to-back national championships. And since that particular point in time, no SEC team has played for or has played for a national championship. Has not won a national championship rather than played for one. That's kind of like telling. Ant's back in here with us. Ant, your thoughts on that, man?
All of it's true. The Big Ten is taking over, especially if they win one more title. I just feel like I don't think it's the part that it's a tough conference. I think it's the part that with NIL being included, like you always said, everything is more spread out now. It's more teams that's on the come up to get the advantage of being that team in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can look at Mississippi State, for example, Kentucky, even us. I mean, you have more 5 stars and 4 stars going to other places because of the money.
Yeah, I mean that's true. The talent gap has closed a lot, and that has made the conference has made the parity in the conference a lot more harder. I mean, and a lot more, comparable. The parity is there. But here the argument that I'm making is when you talk about how good the conference was. When you've had one program be so good for so long and just be dominant for so long, it's almost like if you say something so many times, other people start believing it. Even the person that's saying it knows it's not true, they start believing it. Like, that's how this is. Like I asked the question at one point in time. Like I remember when we first started having this conversation and I made this claim, out loud. I asked the question. I said, do you think that the SEC's record against other conferences are dominant? And I literally just gave the records. I literally gave the records to what the teams were. The 3 teams in the conference that had winning records against any other teams from anybody in the opposing conferences were Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. And their records and their wins against them were so vast. But other teams that had records, they probably had like a 4 game lead over the other conferences. They were probably like 24 and 20, or like 10-9. I think Auburn was the other team that won a national championship during that time period. They had a losing record. Auburn had a losing record against other conferences as well. So I just asked the question. I just look at the numbers, and the numbers just tell me that, yeah, the SEC is tough. But when you do play other people, is not when besides those 3 teams that's at the top of the conference, when those other teams that's in the middle of the conference were playing other teams, it was pretty competitive with those other teams outside. Your thoughts on that, Bud, before we get out of this one?
Yeah, I think context is always important too, because we know Alabama and Georgia also ran from a lot of really tough out of conference games. And you had Auburn. How many times did we play Clemson, who was the best program in the ACC? And we were like the 3rd, 4th, 5th best program in our conference. So I think context is important when you give that. And also, I just want to hit on really quick. I think another reason why the SEC is down is you have the NIL situation, and then you have the situation where a lot of SEC teams recently have missed on coaching hires. Whereas in the prime of the SEC, where, yes, Alabama and Georgia were dominating, you had a plethora of really good coaches in the conference.
Yeah.
Whereas recently, plus you have your best coach of your conference that also has not pivoted as well as you would have hoped to the new era.
True. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good point. That's a very good point right there. It's a solid point. The coaching in this conference was like top tier. Like the coaching matched the talent. Now it seems as if I feel like you have some great coaches in here now, and they're trying to get back to that. But at one point in time, man, the coaching in this conference was just like, what's going on?
Out of prime Jimbo, out of prime Stoops, and then you had like Freeze, Harsin, you had whatever the hell Arkansas was doing.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know. But hey, that's our thoughts on it, man. Tell us what you think about it, man. Tell us what you think about it in the comments, man. Do you agree with Eli Drinkwitz's comment that the Big Ten, the reason why that they have 3 back-to-back national championships with 3 different schools is because they had a week out of conference schedule? Tell us what you think, man. I do not agree with it. Because if you start pointing the finger at other people, if you point the finger like that, you got a couple of them pointing back at you, and then people start looking at what your schedule was looking like at that particular point in time when your teams that were winning national championships on that time was looking at it, and I'd be like, well, this is what you said. So let's see what it is. Well,
he couldn't ask somebody else to ask that. He couldn't ask somebody else to say that.
That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking the same thing. You could have asked somebody else because it was the wrong person, in my opinion. But it is what it is.
You seen what Cincinnati said? We're gonna take the SEC approach.
Yeah, it is what it is. Man, I guess so, man. I guess so. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, man, make sure you all go over and subscribe to our guy Tez over at SEC Season. Got some good stuff coming for you, man. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to
Talking big plays, man, sharper than a ruler. Office gossip now, we breaking down the zone. Defense tight like the Wi-Fi on your phone. Quarterback sneaks.
In the SEC, every game and every fan matters. Welcome to SEC Season, the ultimate interactive channel. Catch launch breaks with Tez, Tuesday to Thursday at 12:30. And SEC Season Live, Tuesday nights at 7:30. More than a channel, it's a community. Connect and debate with the most passionate fans in college sports. Subscribe today and join the Keyboard Collective.
Game day just got sweeter with Deutsch, the delicious, high-protein snack that's plant-based, gluten-free, dairy-free, and low in sugar. Visit DeutschFoods.com and use discount code WCTS for 20% off your order. That's DeutschFoods.com, code WCTS for 20% off.
Breaking Auburn news, recruiting updates, insider conversations, the stories Auburn fans care about most. When something happens across the Auburn football landscape, Auburn Addicts is there. From recruiting battles and transfer portal movement to game analysis and the latest headlines, Auburn Addicts keeps you connected. Join Auburn fans every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Auburn Addicts. Auburn football. All the time.
Follow Water Cooler Talk Sports on social media.
Ladies and gentlemen, man, welcome back to Around the Cooler here on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network, man. Appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us, man. Commissioner Greg Sankey was asked a question today of how real are the talks of the SEC potentially breaking away? And here's what he had to say.
You phrased the question of how real, so I'll take that as like real or not real. So they're real. People have talked about that. They've opined about the frustrations that bring them to the point of saying we should look at something significantly different. I do not believe that is a leverage point. I think that's just honest communication. I would prefer that stay in a meeting room or on a video conference and not be part of the D1 ticker the next morning, but I don't control all of that. We have regulated ourselves more aggressively than other colleagues by choice across our league. We've had different academic eligibility restrictions in the past. So we've had different transfer restrictions in the past. So some of what you hear comes out of a culture that we can regulate ourselves. We went through a college football playoff discussion for years and introduced a 12-team playoff where it just sat because colleagues couldn't move. And they had reasons, but those reasons really didn't resonate. And so understand that beneath the observation is frustration. And I do think a national expectation that we participate in a national organization. But that national organization must function in a healthy manner. Otherwise, that simmering will continue.
Greg Sankey had a lot to say about that, man. And as you can see here on the screen, man, there's a timeline of everything that happened the last time the SEC won the national championship, all the way up until where we are right now, where the conversation about the SEC particularly breaking away from the NCAA and starting its own league, man. And I'm gonna start with you on this one, man. What will it look like if the SEC broke away from the NCAA and became its own thing? Will it survive, in your opinion?
I think it will survive because let's just be honest. The Big Ten and the SEC are the moneymakers of college football right now. So you can make 10 plus billion a year. You can survive on your own. The question of what would you do as far as games, conference titles, well, not conference titles so much, national title or whatever, you take your.
Dang, bro, Sun Run got him again in the middle of his.
It is 750.
Oh, Sun
The
Run,
sun's going down.
You're right, bro. He got to get them solar powers before they go out. Hopefully, he use all of it. Oh, it is.
Oh yeah. No, it's a phone call. Thank you. Phone call. Thank you.
We thought it was Sun Run. My bad. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you take yourself out the national league equation. Now it's gonna be like the AFC and NFL. What it was back in the day.
AFL,
the NFL and AFL, yeah. So it's like, besides the SEC, who else gonna join them?
Is this viable, Bubble?
Yeah, like I think that the way you phrase it's interesting is like surviving. I think they could survive. I don't think they would thrive though, because just the logistics of all right. I guess just like off the top of my head, it'd be like a 10-game SEC schedule. Then you play the SEC championship. There's no other national connection, and it's like, okay, now you're floating off into you're essentially like your own thing now.
Yeah,
you're like your own micro minor league type situation, and it's just like then you lose the connection to the rest of the country, right? So if they could logistically find a way to, okay, we could still be involved in the NCAA playoff. We could still like find contracts to play non-conference games. Like maybe, I just don't see how it would really work because it seems like you'd lose the soul of your sport.
You would. I mean, it would have to be like them in the ACC or the ACC or them in the Big 12 or them in the Big 10. Like it would for that to work. Like I don't think 16 SEC teams could just break off on their own and go do something and be viable, and survive. I'm not sure about that. Because I think a lot of people don't understand, like if they were to break away from the NCAA, right? That means that it would also mean that there is some kind of connection to the college football playoff in that situation as well, too, which means that they will break away from the college football playoff, so you would not be able to participate in like postseason, the college football playoff that apparently you have the control over, saying how it looks for the next couple of seasons. And the argument has been over. I look at it and I ask the question, man, I don't know, bro. I really don't know. I put it like this. I liken it to the pregame playlist, right? If you haven't already, go check out the pregame playlist, man. We are on Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. That show is like nothing nobody has seen on YouTube, right? It's like nothing that nobody's seen on YouTube. Nobody has seen a sports radio show with music on it on YouTube before. It's one of one right now. Somebody else will probably end up trying to take an idea and try to do something with it. But when you are the first to do something like that, it's always hard. It's always going to be hard. You're always going to be the test case because nobody has mined the fields that you have mined, that you are about to see. So I look at that and I say, man, if the SEC does it, they definitely, in the words of what Phil Will said, they definitely would need another conference for that to happen. It could be the Big 12. It could be the ACC. It could be the Big 10. I just don't see them going off. I just don't see the SEC going off by itself and just being like, all right, we're going to start our own thing. And we're going to get this thing rocking and rolling. We'll be good to go, man. I just don't see it happening. And you heard him say in the clip there, he was like, it's just a bunch of frustrations, a bunch of frustrations from people within the conference because of, and he kept saying our colleagues. And I'm pretty sure he's talking about the Big 10 is what he's talking about. and maybe the Big 12 and the ACC as well. But the frustrations of people just wanting to get something done and just wanting to play football and wanting to get that thing finished and get it done. So all we can just focus on the football and not have this conversation every offseason about what's going to happen. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see it working. I don't see it being a viable option. And hopefully that is something that they don't do. And if they do it, I just really hope that they have studied it and that they have clear evidence of what it is that they need and how it can work in the timeline, a model of how long it potentially could work. It could last before something needs to happen in order for them to be, financially viable and, commercially and socially viable. I just look at it from that perspective, man. Anything else from you all that y'all want to talk about this on this one, man? Any other thoughts that y'all have on this one, Bubba? Man.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead, Bubba.
All right, like I was just gonna say, let's say it's the SEC and the ACC because they get along, right? Like, let's say it's that. That could be catastrophic to G5 programs in general.
Oh yeah,
you're losing like half the big money games for your program. So it's like there is so many things that it could do irreparable harm, not only to the SEC if this doesn't work out in the ACC or whatever other conference. It could not only do irreparable harm to those conferences, it could crater in and create an even larger gap between P4 and G5 programs. And it could just cause a crater in college football in general. So that's why when he said, like, it's not a leverage point, that's total BS. The only way I see that they would even put this out there is if it was a leverage point. Because 99 times out of 100, I think this would fail.
Oh, yeah, easily. It would.
I think they would survive, though. I think they would survive, but it would not be the same. And it would be a bad product eventually. But they could survive just off brands. But it would not thrive the way that people think it would.
Ed Darby, Mr. 21, said, we need a regulation system. This is something that me and DC said this a year and a half ago. And I said I was more on the side of having a regulation system to where every 5 years you have 3 tiers. You have Power 4 level, the G5 level, and of course the level that would be below the G5 level. We have those 3 regulation tiers. You have this amount of teams in this tier, this amount of teams in this tier, this amount of teams in this tier, and each tier has its own playoff system, its own, national championship system, and everything. And every 5 years, each team gets there is a board. There will be a board that was set up of 11 people. It's how that board will be set up, and that board will look at each team in each conference, and then they will look at whatever metrics it is, revenue, wins and losses, whatever the metrics are. And from there, it would determine whether you would stay where you are, whether you would move up, or whether you would move down. Just that simple. And for a 5-year period, you would stay there, and then you would either play your way up or play your way down. But every year, somebody would get regulated up or down between those 3. And me and DC had this conversation. Like, I wish y'all could hear the conversation that we have off pod. When we be having them, we're like, man, that would be great for a show. But that was the system that that we proposed, and it's all good. Go ahead, Ed, before we get up out of here, man.
I was just gonna say the way this sounds like they're trying to play leverage for the college playoffs, because you got 2 or 3 conferences that want a 24-team playoff, and you got 2 or 3 conferences that want to stay at 12, and they're not gonna come to an agreement on it. So at the end of the day, the SEC wants to be the leader and break off because we don't have an agreement on the playoff system.
Well, they don't have an agreement on it because they don't have an agreement on it, but y'all the ones in charge of making it. You and the other big conferences are the ones in charge of determining if this is what the playoff system is going to be. But y'all don't have an agreement.
It really just seems like 2 spoiled kids fighting. Like, I'm going to take my ball and go home.
That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
And great points from King Richard on the.
Yeah. Is it Are we just talking about basketball? Is it basketball, baseball, and softball, and etc. Like all
Olympic sports?
Yeah, or are we just talking about football? I mean, it could be just football because you do have schools that you do have some schools that are in conferences and just certain sports and not in conferences. Notre Dame,
yeah.
Notre Dame is one of them. Notre Dame's football team is not part of a conference, but basketball, I think baseball, I think all the rest of them are like part of the eight.
But can you do that with a whole conference? Like the whole conference is its own entity in one sport, and in another sport it's connected to the NCAA? And how would the NCAA work with that?
I mean, I feel like they.
You're just gonna take my most profitable thing and take it away from me and leave me all this garbage? Like
that's exactly what they'll do, bro. They'll do it. They'll do it. Yeah, trust me. If they can find a way to do it, they would definitely do it.
Like, when's the last time SEC basketball made profit?
Ooh, the SEC tournament. The SEC tournament is actually very profitable, bro. They actually make a lot of money.
Okay, softball, track.
Nah, they don't. They don't make money there.
All the other Olympic sports, swimming.
They don't make any money there.
Our prized, what do they do with the horses?
Oh, equestrian.
Yeah, like that's not making profit.
Of course,
for the SEC.
Of course, it's not.
Right. But you're gonna take Auburn football, which is like Auburn football, Oklahoma, Texas, the NCAA just got these into their like prized conference, and they're just like, oh, we're just gonna take all this profit and go away.
Exactly. Yep. Nah. They could do it. They could do it. But hey, it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, man, shout out to you all, man, for rocking with us here tonight on Around the Cooler on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network, man. Shout out to y'all for rocking with us, man. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us, man. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you are all tuned in to the pregame playlist tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, man. We're going to have a great time. We're going to keep talking about SEC Media Days is what we're going to keep talking about. We're going to be previewing Alex Golesh because Alex Golesh will be going on at, I believe, 10:35. Either 10:35 or 9:35 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll be seeing Alex Golesh on the podium, so we definitely will be giving live reaction to that as well. And of course, man, we just gonna be talking about everything else that's going on. Kirby Smart will be there tomorrow for SEC Media Day. So you'll have Kirby Smart, Georgia. Forget the other two teams off the top of my head.
I think Vanderbilt and. I forgot the other one.
I forget the other two. So it is what it is. But man, we appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us here around the water cooler. Bubba, what can they find you at, my guy?
Bubba and the Old Man, Auburn Sports Talk on YouTube and Twitter.
There it is. And what can they find you at?
Magic City.
Right now, I ain't in Magic City, man. I'm in Chirac right now. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stay alive. Trying to survive.
That man said we in Magic City. That's what he said. That's what he said. Magic City. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we will see you all tomorrow morning for the pregame playlist, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. If you have not already, please hit that like, hit the subscribe button, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us. Until next time, you all have a good one. Better yet, y'all have a great one, man. Y'all be blessed. Make sure y'all get the man upstairs above his because he deserves all the praise and all of the glory. Ladies and gentlemen, as Martin wrote on the wall when he walked out of that apartment for the last time on the Martin show, he wrote two words. Two words were one love. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow morning for the pregame playlist. Y'all stay fresh. Y'all stay blessed. We'll see you then. Y'all be easy, man. Peace.
This has been a presentation of Water Cooler Talk Sports.